You guys are tuned to the Watch Podcast with your hosts, owner-operator, Eric Huggins, Nice Watch Patrol. We are the light in the dark, Psalm 139, verse 12.
And today, we're on episode 32, Showtime. Security exposed.
Second security guard grabs him by the neck.
Women scooted out of there quick. We don't know how hurt they were. And no one knows the mystery man with the right hook.
What do you tell this guy that, you know,
Video shows the security guard grab the man by his backpack and push him forward with force. The man
I hear you. He's not hurting you right now.
Stop. Put your hands behind your back.
In Minnesota, anonymous people sent in this video. Reach out to the general
Now, when we think about security being exposed, you know, people ask, what does that mean? Well, we're going to find out, all of us. So I've been noticing that, you know, we're in the year of 2024 now. I'm starting to notice that there's been an increase in incidents involving security guards. And so I had to ask questions. You know, I had to start figuring it out. Like, what's going on? Why are we being recorded? Like, every time something goes on, every time an argument, every time a simple argument, a simple a trespass ordinance or a loitering ordinance, and we're trying to do our job, and we're being ridiculed for it. We're being exposed on social media. We're being exposed on YouTube, and I want to take a deep dive into figure out why that's going on. Okay. So let's take a deep dive. So after the whole George Floyd incident, and you know, back in 2020, I believe, same time as when COVID was going on, it was a whole lot going on at that time. So crazy, and so after they had, you know, the officers had the guy, you know, Floyd's knee in their neck, and it became an outrage. All right, to people, to general public, you know, law officials out there, presidents, and they saw it as a disgusting act. It's disgusting the way that man was treated. You know, I have my own opinions. You know, I truly believe the guy was a piece of work. Okay, piece of work, yeah, and you know, but do we have to, you know, go that far? And so now we kind of fast forward in time, and now we're starting to see that phones are out more often, you know, than some, you know. Anytime anyone has any sort of negative interaction with security, there's always someone recording, you know. And I believe that those individuals in the private sector that are working in these high traffic areas have a problem or an issue with communication. You know, a lot of times that these owners are, you know, these big conglomerated companies, they don't sit there and just kind of place, you know, I would like to say, like, call it like a placement for people. You know, we're not putting people in their correct place. We're putting quiet individuals that don't speak normally in public. We're putting them in shopping malls. We're putting them in the malls. We're putting them in areas of high traffic and high visibility. And then when it comes to an incident, you know, because we, you know, a lot of guards go off of post orders. And what post orders are, for those that don't know, are pretty much the guidelines of what you, pretty much your job description for that particular site that you're on. So obviously, if you're on a construction site, They may ask you to do a couple walkthroughs. They may actually do a couple incident report, a couple of photos. If you happen to see anything that seems to be unsafe, you'll report it. Yada yada yada, whatever. And then if you go with apartment complexes, you'll conduct a full patrol. I mean, if you're doing it right, and anytime there's an incident, you report it. That's on your post orders. So if you happen to see a light out, you report a light out. If you happen to see, X, Y, and Z hanging out at apartment 9, you report it because that's what was on your post order. And so I think that some people take the word post orders literal to a point to where they take it to the max. And I don't think, maybe it's poor training. Maybe it's just, hey, here you go, look at it. This is what it is. And some people take it literal. They say, hey, if you happen to see anybody that's loitering, kick them off. Well, what happens is a lot of people are walking around in particular areas, and the security guard just sees the post order like almost like a robot, if you think about it. And they see it, they say, oh, if you see someone walking around, kick them out. So this, we have an individual who is who's a guest that's going for a walk. Maybe he's an active person. Maybe he lives in Oregon or something like that. Where they're very active, and or LA. And he's walking around, and the security guard approaches him and said, hey man, you can't be walking around. The guy's like, hey dude, I'm a resident here. And the security guard doesn't know how to intercept those particular conversations. They don't know how to put two and two together, unfortunately. And this is what I'm seeing in the private sector is that we just go we're like robots when it comes to these post orders. And so we take them literally, and we make it our own, and we say, oh, no, sorry, buddy, can't come in, no, sorry. And the guy shows you his identification. He shows you everything that he needs to show. Matter of fact, sometimes I think some of these people are giving too much information out, and the security guard's like, oh yeah, well, sorry sir, you just can't be walking around at 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's a common issue when it comes to security, because they don't know. And I see a lot of times that these security companies, these big conglomerated security companies that have these big, large accounts, are hiring these 18, 19-year-old kids that they barely even talk to their own damn parents. Okay? They barely talk to their friends. Most of the time they're on the phone like, So when it comes to real life interaction, they fail all the time. More times than none. And I want to touch on this too, is that when I think I posted, if you guys follow me on social media at Nice Watch Patrol, you guys will know that I posted a video regarding an individual that essentially pursued two, I want to say they're transients, right? Pursued two transients and eventually tased them. Tased one of the guys, and then the other guy came out there as rescued for his partner and removed the prongs out, and the security guard still pursues them. Now, when it comes to security, even being a private citizen, is that when there's no longer a threat, there's nothing to pursue. Okay? If I'm running from you because I'm afraid, I'm scared, whatever, that's when you just take a picture, record me, whatever, running, and include it into your incident report and file it with BSIS within 7 days. If you guys live in the state of California, you have 7 days to report an incident. Okay? Incident involving arrest, detainment, law enforcement contact. You guys have 7 days to report that. And a lot of times, we don't. We just say, whatever. Not a big deal. It's not going to come back on us. And sometimes it does. You know, when I say sometimes, I know it sounds, I'm giving the probability that it happens less. No, but it happens a lot more. It's too many security guards out there that are getting involved in these incidents, and it's now it's taking us back, and now BSIS and the investigators, now they're going through a lot of reports, incident reports, anything that has to do with social media and negative light of security. Yeah. They're gonna look at it. They're gonna investigate. And I pray to God that these security guards out there are reporting these incidents in a timely manner, and not just chalking up as the loss. Like, yeah. hmm The second that we got our guard card, and it was approved by the state of California, that is the second that we become, that we are a part of a product, and we're in a system, So anything that we do, it's going to trace back to us, our guard card, our address, our where we live, our zip code, whatever. It's going to trace us back to where we reside. And I think a lot of security guards forget that information, that when they got their guard cards and got their guard card information, that they put their address, their everything on there for pretty essentially the world to see. Okay, so if I look you up, and you got your guard card in a particular zip code, I know that you got your your security guard in this city and the zip code that you currently reside in. So yeah, you're not too far. You're not too far away. I'm like, oh, this guy lives over here. This guy lives across the street. Say less. So yeah, so I just want you guys to know that you guys, as soon as you guys sign that, that information, and you guys do your fingerprints, you guys are a part of a system. Okay. So when you guys become a part of a system, now you guys are a little bit more easy to track, right? You got a lot of guards out there that don't have guard cards. You got a lot of guards out there that just don't apply with the rules when it comes to the Bureau of Security Investigative Services, and that's okay. It's up to them. But when it comes to the licensed guards out there that are operating, we have to hold ourselves in a higher caliber. We should be holding ourselves in a higher caliber. Going back to the whole George Floyd incident. I think that was the first time where I noticed that people were recording law enforcement more often. And then you started to get the First Amendment auditors that were going around and just every time a law enforcement officer would pull somebody over, you got this knucklehead over in the background. Hey, hi, yeah. Why are you pulling this guy over, sir? Yeah, you want to explain this to me? And the unfortunately, the poor officer can't even conduct his investigation because he's got the knucklehead in the background. Okay? Yeah, I get it. Yeah. It's annoying. But these are law enforcement officers that are conducting a lawful traffic stop. And we got these knuckleheads out there, these First Amendment auditors, that are sitting there recording everything they do. So, I guess in a sense, you get the whole monkey see, monkey do. All right? Got First Amendment auditors. People see this on YouTube. People see this on Facebook, wherever it's provided. And they say, well, you know what? Anytime I see a security guard, anytime I see a police officer, I'm going to record him. Okay? There's this social media group, and we live, if you guys didn't know, or you guys ain't happy to give a damn, I live in Bakersfield, California. And in Bakersfield, Kern County, there is a page called Kern County Activities. And what Kern County Activities does is people send these, that will tag them on fighting, any fights, any altercations with people. And then they also have altercations with law enforcement and also altercations with security guards. Yeah, I get it. When it comes to law enforcement, after the whole George Floyd, whatever. Everyone's like, oh, I'm recording everything, And then now, we're, as security officers, now we are a part of that, even though we're not considered first responders, right? but we're still part of that pool of recordees. You know, now we're being recorded for any interaction that we have with the public. So if we have even if it's negative, even if it's positive interaction, someone's recording you. You know, will they post it? Likely not. You know, I wish they would. Wish they'd post the good moments, but they don't. But you have the incidents where they're negative moments, and those negative moments are when someone tests the security guard, and the security guard acts out of the scope of his job. You know, I would like to say unintentionally, but a lot of it's very intentional when it comes to security guards out there. You know, I think the security guards see if you guys work private security, you know, you guys work in that demographic. It's an opportunity for you guys to learn how to communicate. It's an opportunity for you guys to learn how to talk to people. It's an opportunity for you guys to learn, the certain verbiage, you know, to get people to do what you want them to do. You know, essentially, you know, it's not so much like, you know, yeah, well, you know, sir, if you just lay down and then start rolling around that corner, you'll be off property. No, no, it's not that. It's more so like, hey, sir, hi, how are you doing? Hey, you know what? Sometimes you can introduce yourself. All right. A lot of times I don't use my name. I say, hey, how's it going, man? My name's Jared. You know, I'm a security officer here for this property. Unfortunately, you guys are loitering. But if you guys, you know, if you guys are looking for a place to stay or hang out at, you know, I would recommend you guys find a homeless shelter, you know, to go in. I have a couple contact numbers. If you guys need it, I'll write it down for you. Boom. Guess what? Not only did you evict somebody from a property, you know, without any further incident, you also provided a resource for these individuals. Now, so back in so a couple of days ago, there's a video from Kern County activities of a security guard. Now, this video depicts the security guard on top of a gentleman. I want to say I believe that they were homeless, and he gets on top of the homeless guy, and you know, he's fighting. I mean, I don't know what the hell he's doing, rolling around in the dirt. I don't know what you call it. But you know, the security guard did not realize that this person had a friend, and I think he did realize that this person had a friend, but he disregarded it. So what happens is this friend, you know, this kid has a duty belt on, you know, and the friend's behind him, you know, the suspect's friend, and he's pulling the security guard off, you know, and after that they start to run away. And then at that point, essentially, if they're running away, it's over. Take a picture, document it, and move on with life. You know, I like to say that as I'm watching this video, and if you are the security guard and you're watching this right now, please contact me. I'll get you on the podcast. I have an extra chair, nice warm seat for you, and you can explain yourself, okay? Because the public sees this, and I want to remind you guys that this video had 45,000 views in a span of one day, 24-hour period. 42,000 views. You know? And at that point, it doesn't matter if the security guard was in the right, whether the security guard was in the wrong. It doesn't matter. They just see people see what they see on the video. And who else is going to see this video? BIS is going to see this. BSIS is going to see this video. The investigators will see this, and I pray to God. And I know I said this, and I know I said this in the post earlier, but please, if you are the security guard, please do a incident report regarding the incident that took place that day, because I will find you. And if you're the owner of the company, Sal, sorry, my throat. You need to make sure that officer is documenting that incident. That is a recordable incident, according to BSIS, you know, and you use an energy weapon on this individual, okay, and you know, and it goes back to the training side of it, You know, everyone says that security guards are not properly trained, and it's very true. You know, I don't know who they gave this guy a taser. Maybe this guy bought a taser on his own, or maybe it was issued to him. But my question is, did he know the safety precautions when it came to using and deploying that energy weapon? Their prongs, they deploy. And, you know, at any point, anyone that has a high, stim, their heart's beating crazy, and they're really going at it, and they could. And a lot of times, it's methamphetamine. That when it increases their heart rate, that is a bad time to go and deploy a taser on somebody. You know, essentially, I mean, but if you have to tase them, you have to tase them. But in this incident, when I see it, and let's go back. Let's take a look at the damn video, guys. I don't know why are we still talking about it. Take a look at the video. As you can see, the security guard is on top of somebody, and he's trying to subdue them. And maybe I don't. At this point, I don't see him reaching for handcuffs. I don't see him reaching for anything. He's just trying to get this guy on the ground. Obviously the guy is squirmy, whatever, and the security guard has no formal training on techniques on how to get this person in a very, very uncomfortable position to where he stops moving. Okay, and obviously the security guard looks like he's about 150 pounds. I mean, if you look at it, and okay, and then we'll fast forward, okay, a little bit, and then look at it. If you guys look at it, you guys see that the security guard, after he gets off of them, he's still pursuing these individuals. All right. And if I'm looking at them, I don't see any weapons. I don't see any merchandise. I don't see anything to a point where he needs to detain them. And so then after that, the security guard is arguing with them, fighting with them. The homeless are fighting with him. They're arguing with him. And then he removes his Axon taser, his X26 from his holster, and points it at the individual and tases him. Luckily it was very due to the amount of clothing that the individual had, I was surprised that the prongs actually hit. For the X26s, that was one of the biggest complaints, was the prongs did not penetrate far enough into heavier clothing. And so, yeah, I was really, really, really surprised that those prongs hit the individual. Individual was down, and the security guard had an opportunity to continue to detain the individual if he needed to. I guess he felt like he needed to. And then the friend came out there, removed the prongs off, and he got him up, and they tried to run away. And at this point, the security guard still pursues him. And so now we have to go back and look at ourselves like, okay, now at what point in time was it okay for the security guard to continue to pursue? Not at one time, not at all. And the problem with security guards in life, in ever, whatever, is that we don't. Okay, we have to remember that we're always constantly being watched. Okay. Now, I like to tell this to my staff, and I say this, and I say, pretend you're being recorded from the time that you start shift until the time that you end. Just pretend someone's watching you. You don't have to, put on a nice, smiley face, or we'll comb your hair over to the side, or look like you're a movie star or whatever. No. I just want you guys to think, to remember, and to every time you go on shift, that you are a movie. Okay? Showtime! Go! Every time you clock in, showtime. And I wish I had something like something clever to show, say, showtime, but I don't. But I just, all you individuals that that work security in the private sector, just remember, every time you guys get on shift, you guys put all your uniforms on, etc., yada, 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 that you guys are showtime. Okay? You guys are a show. And I think the problem is that sometimes we forget we're in a movie, and I always tell everybody, just think and pretend that every day that you show up to work that you are in a movie, because essentially you are, because you will be held accountable for any action. There's always a reaction to every action that security guards commit. Now, even at times, maybe you are in the right. Maybe what you did was correct. But what does it look like on the video? Those are important moments that we have to think about. I tell this to people, that it doesn't matter if the security guard, if you own a security company, okay, you own a nice little security company, you guys look good, whatever. Your guy tases someone, hits somebody, pepper sprays someone, whatever. People record that particular guard, right? And I know that you guys are the owner. You guys see the security guard. Oh yeah, look at that guy. He pepper sprayed someone. That was so not cool. But as an owner, you guys, like that whole saying. There's that whole saying out there. You are what you eat. Okay. And when it comes to security guards, you are who you hire. Okay. And I want to say that one more time. You are who you hire. And what I mean by that is that I've seen overweight security company owners. What do they hire? Overweight security guards. I've seen security owners that look terrible in uniform. And what do they hire? Guards that look terrible in uniform. Okay. And that is I don't want to call it a security stigma. It's not. It's you are what you eat. Okay? You are who you hire. Whoever you hired is who you are. That is a depiction of who you are. So if I see these security guards that are acting out of the scope of their job, I assume that the security owner is just like that too. Okay? I own a security company here in town, Bakersfield, California. And guess what? You guys will never, ever, ever, ever see myself or my staff acting out of the scope of their job. Reason being is because I'm very, 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 very to the point when it comes to dealing with the public. Yes, you are being recorded. Even if you don't think you're being recorded, you are being recorded. Someone watched you. About 2 years ago, this security company pulled over an individual that ended up on the news. Okay. Now, in this incident, somebody recorded from their house in their window, an apartment complex that was pointing to the street. The security staff had no idea that they were being recorded this whole time. And not only did it end up in someone else's phone, it also ended up on the news. And then the news is over there questioning, like, oh my God, what rights do security, what rights do security have? Well, guess what? The same exact rights as any other citizen out there that is walking around in plain clothes. Okay? The only thing difference between us and the public is that we're wearing a uniform. Sometimes we're wearing cool stuff. Sometimes we're just walking around in a t-shirt and pants. And the saying "rent a cop" is it can be very hurtful to people. We get called rent a cop. Sometimes we get called Paul Blart. We get called Craig and Day Day, RoboCop, Terminator. Yeah, it does something to people. It does something. It sets you on the wrong side of the bed, okay? By the words. But I have to tell everybody that sticks and stones. Sticks and freaking stones. And how do you guys hire people? What is your guys' hiring practices when it comes to hiring the right individual for a particular property? Are you hiring the right person for this property? Are you hiring the right person for that property? Are you hiring someone that's low tempered that has to deal with a high traffic area? You know, you cannot put me in a high traffic area. I'm sorry. I like people, but not that much. And eventually I get tired of them. And guess what? Then I start acting out of the scope of my own job. Okay? So that's why I don't do these shopping centers, you know, unless it's worth it. You know, and I think I said on Instagram before, I said I got a bid from a private of a property management company, and they want to get rid of the security company. I said, yeah, it's gonna be this much. I said, okay, we'll keep them. I get another call, email requesting for a bid, and they asked for security again, and I gave them another number because they still have the same security company, and I didn't hear from them anymore. And then 6 months later, I'm on Kern County activity. One of my buddies sent me a video of a security guard at that shopping center tasing 2 homeless guys. And I thought to myself, yeah, that's what they get. Because sometimes in an instance, we have to think that sometimes it'll cost us a little bit more in the long run to pay for good service. But we know that we're not going, but these owners and these operators or these property management companies would know that they're not going to lose by hiring a service. Okay. When I tell owners out there and property management companies, I'd say, you know what? Hire the best. If it costs too much, that means it's good. And not all the times, but a lot of times when you're paying more, you look at the staff, they look professional, they look like they take care of themselves. That's the security company that you want to more invest into, because at the end of the day, that security company is going to invest in you. I've had accounts for the last couple years, and I'm very, very particular who I put there. I get people that call me for jobs, call me looking for work all the time, and I see them out. I've already, a lot of times I've already seen these guards in public, and I say, no, I can't use that. I can't use them. Nothing, nothing personal. It's just that I want to be able to, I want to be able to we want to be able to complement those particular properties.